All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. Play it and pause it, just to make sure I don't have to see myself in triplicate, because then it gets a little bit weird, you know? When you're live streaming, but you've got several tabs open, it can be a little bit odd. We've got some very, very strange news today. First, to the Trump assassin. Apparently, he kept a horse in his living room, at least for some period of time. We're still waiting for more confirmation on whether this allegation is true. But one of his neighbors swears, yeah, he had a horse in his living room. That's totally normal, by the way. We've got new polling. We'll get into that, of course. J.D. Vance defends baseless rumor about Haitian immigrants eating pets. I love how CNN actually words that, because you've literally got evidence of them actually eating people's pets. I have no problem with Haitians, to be clear. I'm going to New Orleans for a reason. You think I'm not eating Haitian food? Fuck yeah. But there have been cases of this. This is gaslighting. We'll talk about it. We've got, unfortunately, in Vermont, this is my home state. I'm here in Vermont. Unfortunately, there was an attempt to set up a pedophile camping trip. I'm not shitting you. The links are in the description to all of these things, by the way. By the way, Goldco pinned at the top. I'll shout them out later. This disturbs me. And I think, you know, there are ways to deal with pedophiles, of course. I'm just saying, you know, there are multiple methodologies to deal with them. You don't need a wood chipper, actually. It's not actually necessary. I don't think that any jury in the land is going to convict you if you're, never mind. I'm just pointing that out. I'm just putting that out there. Judge orders deportation of migrant influencer who bragged about handouts and encouraged squatting. Yes, Leonel Moreno has been ordered to be deported. And then the Pennsylvania Supreme Court appears to have partially refortified the election in the state of Pennsylvania. Again, don't get black-pilled, though. Trump is still running pretty far ahead of where he did in Pennsylvania in the 2016 election. So don't be too worried, but be cautious and concerned. Harvest a ballot, knock on a friend's door and say, hey, it's time to go vote. No, man, I'm stoned. No, fucking come to the fucking polls. Here's $10 just to, get into the fucking car or something like that. BW, did you see that tweet where they show that Haitians are mostly sent to red states and Hillary wanting to put people in jail for misinformation? The latter is going to be a video tomorrow. I did hear about the former. I will talk about that. Scarfy the Strange, is Trump going to be shot at every time he debates? Apparently. I mean, he can't catch a break. Somebody takes a shot at him every time he goes out fucking side. Meanwhile, with Kamala, she never goes outside, so she doesn't have to worry about it. And then there's another topic that I was going to cover, but I put it in the docket for tomorrow. Them fixating on Elon Musk and his tweet with regards to Harris and Biden and assassination, and the Secret Service saying, well, we're aware of this tweet. Yeah, so in other words, you can't guard Donald Trump, but you can be bothered to conduct an investigation into Elon Musk over a fucking tweet. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, we'll get right to the news really quickly here. Trump assassination attempt suspect's former neighbor says family was weird and kept a horse in the house. Apparently, supposedly this is true. Ruth's, this is the shooter, would-be shooter. Arrest record in Guilford County spans back between the 1980s and 2010. Charges ranging from writing multiple bad checks, which who gives a fuck, to felony firearm possession. I don't really give a fuck about that either, because I think that felons should own firearms, unless they are clearly crazy, in which case they should be permanently incarcerated. Possession of a stolen vehicle, well, stealing someone's car is wrong, and multiple counts of possession of a weapon of mass destruction in 2002, specifically a binary explosive with a 10-inch detonation cord and a blasting cap. So in other words, what we said yesterday on the Quarterings live stream appears to be partially wrong. Originally, it looked like the weapon of mass destruction alluded to an automatic weapon. Apparently, it was actually a real explosive, like a pipe bomb or something like that. A neighbor who said he had known Ruth for about 18 years before he moved to Hawaii and left his Greensboro home empty at least a year ago, described his family as weird to reporters outside her home next to Ruth's former North Carolina residence. He had a horse in the house. I mean, a whole live horse in the house. But I could see the guns and stuff and all. They were all, kind of weird, but they didn't bother me. I didn't bother them, Kim Mungo said. So apparently he kept a horse in his living room. That's the allegation. Like, it doesn't appear that he had a barn. It appears that this was actually a horse in the house itself. I don't know how they did waste removal, but, have you seen how much horses shit? One time I was at a horse parade in Woodstock and I saw a dog eat a bunch of the horse's shit. It just took a big dump right on the side of the road. And the dude was talking to, another person. And he didn't notice, but his dog was gargling down the shit. And I was laughing my ass off, actually. I think I was like 10 years old or something. VW. God, is this never going to end, is it? Where is the dawn? It'll be fine in the end, but it's always darkest before dawn. Last beacon, hey, I finally catch you on a live stream. Also, ping us. You're never going to stop ping-using me. Cultivated Mind, Sticks, thanks for the nod on the Eshigonda video. I actually took it out of the BrainTube blend because I can't grow it myself right now. I might be able to grow the majority. I want to be able to grow the majority of my ingredients. Oh, so I've got one of the last batches that actually has that in there. It does seem to have a neuro effect. Lord of the Ree. If he goes to prison, he'll be able to get his hands on weapons of ass destruction. Clank. Ha ha. Last beacon. I napped too long and did catch your live stream. Yeah, I always got an idea for a song. Somebody can AI this probably. Imagine you did like, that famous 70s song. I can't remember exactly what the title of it was, but it's like, drop the soap, don't drop the soap, baby. Don't drop the soap and don't bend over. It's like a parody song. Last beacon, I did not see the horse shit in my mind. Yeah, no, the dog ate like fucking a pound of horse shit or something like that. And then the dude finally noticed and tugged him away, but, he had already eaten the horse shit mainly. Red Shot 101, been watching for years. Huge fan. P. Diddy arrested for trafficking. I saw that. But P. Diddy hasn't really been, newsworthy in, 15, 20 years? Sir Thomas Drake, the horse story is giving Mr. Hands energy. The Unumclaw Washington Equestrian Club is jealous. And Stinky Shoes 27, what is the difference between a chickpea and a lentil? Lentils taste a lot better. I'm sure that there's some sort of punchline to this joke. Yes, Spiro, rock the boat. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. But instead, it's like a prison song. And so it's don't drop the soap, don't drop the soap, baby. Don't drop the soap, don't bend over. And then there's a man in the, I think the lyrics that I thought of was, there's a man in the next cell. His name is Emmanuel. He wants your ass and he ain't gonna ask or something like that. And I thought that was funny. Perfectly applicable to all those maps in Vermont, by the way. Viking Woman 1988. I just wanted to Stinky Shoes. I never paid $200 to have a lentil in my face. Oh, I get it. God. I knew that would be a sexual joke. If you're paying $200 to have a girl pee on your face, then you're doing something wrong, though. Oscar Gonzalez, how did the dude know where Orange Man was going to be? There's a rumor the encrypted comms of Secret Service may have been hacked by a secret group looking for crazed individuals to do their dirty work. Normally, I would consider that a conspiracy theory, but this time around, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Scarfy the Strange, dog consuming legacy media early. Last beacon, dang it, you're going to make me vomit. Let's get to our sponsors really quickly. Then we'll get into the news because a lot of people have already filtered in. First, we have stickslikesmetals.com. pinned at the top on YouTube, link in the description as well. I am a Goldco partner. Goldco can get you a free investment kit where you can learn how to roll over your savings actually into gold and silver. Apparently, they can do it tax-free. This is, by the way, news to me. You can also get physical gold and silver from them. I've got a little stack of silver, actually, going myself. I like precious metals. We're in a time where the economy is, again, not necessarily, we're not exactly sure who's going to be leading the nation, what kind of fiscal policies there are going to be. Gold and silver have traditionally been used by some people as a hedge against inflation. They're also good for utilitarian purposes. I make the comparison, of course, fiat currency, if you shred it up, you know, you can bed down your birds in it if it's worthless. You know, you have Venezuelan hyperinflation. Gold and silver, though, are used in electronics. They're used in photovoltaics, actually, which was news to me. I thought it was just silicon. Apparently, there's silver in that, too. Used in jewelry, used for decoration and things like that. So there's an actual physical value to it. Again, stickslikesmetals.com. You can refer to Goldco and get an investment kit. Whether it's, you know, you want to invest in gold and silver in the actual investment sense, or whether you want it on hand in the physical capacity, they can help you out. A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, which is important. Again, I'm not hawking any cheap shit here. That doesn't happen on this channel. If I didn't support it, I wouldn't be promoting it at all. So yes, stickslikesmetals.com. And I do like metals. Now, I've been stacking silver for years, and I'll probably be getting more from Goldco actually too, because yeah, having a bunch of silver coins, you know, you put them in like a box or something. It's like pirate treasure. That sounds lit. That sounds great, especially if I ever buy a boat. We've got also cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. Apparently, the ashwagandha is no longer in the N2, the supplement. Radiant energy is typically what I use because it literally energizes me. Just an anecdote, but for me at least, it seems to work very well. We've got pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get belt chains, keychains, bookmarks, important for the bibliophile in your life. You can also get glassware and engraved spoons. And the Ouroboros logo tends to apply. Some of it says Clank. And so you can just sort of shop around, see what you want. BillTongUSA.com or AntonsUSA.com. The land of Anton's sweet meat. He will put it in your mouth. And it is good. And the game is back in sesh. They do have the elk and the venison available now, which is good. Both of those were good. I still think the bison overall is my favorite, but I'm a little bit biased because, you know, I love buffalo meat. Also, there are mugs, tumblers, and shirts available there as well. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. Several varieties and several colors are available. Again, offset logo, centralized logo. I think the former was more popular. I kind of like the latter, but that's because it says Sticks, Hex, and Hammer 666 across the head. Again, I might be a little bit on the bias side here. We have heritageheirloomseedcompany.com, where you can get delicious soaps. They are excellent. The Sticks, Hex, and Hammer soap has cedar, clove, and blueberry. You can also get seed survival buckets, and those are good. The Turk's Turban was delicious. I planted some of the tomatoes. Those did well. It was really nice to... I mean, I loved it because it's like filled with packs of seeds. It's like it would have been my wet dream when I was younger and got obsessed with gardening when I was a teenager. websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get various things. We've got knives available, you know, important for the map in your life, of course. This is not from Webster's Wares. Sorry, I don't have one on hand to show off. They are nice, though, and they're exquisitely sharp. I don't know if they're sharpening them themselves or if they're pre-sharpened, but yeah, I learned it the hard way that one time. You remember that. Also, you can get jackets. You can get metal straws to save a sea turtle. I'm going to be eating a sea turtle when I get to New Orleans, but in general, I want to save them. They're beautiful creatures, whatever. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com. You should definitely visit their site because they've got the Costa Rica blend available, and there will be a new blend, a Clank blend available very, very soon. You can also get tea there. You come for the coffee, you stay for the tea. You get your uppers and your downers, and their herbal blends, they smell really, really nice. So really good job on the coffee and tea. Anyway, those are our sponsors. Last Beacon, I wish I had the technical skill to do the exploding pager or smartphone thing. Yeah, I saw that story earlier. My mom actually tipped me off about that. Last Beacon, speaking of silver, have you ever custom cast silver like making a silver goblet? No, but I've thought about it, yeah. And put Anton's meat in your mouth. Yeah, Anton wants your meat in his mouth. And he gets paid for it. Emperor Soft Turtle, I am starting to think Kamala's coherence is a problem. Kamala's a clear jar, but Biden was painted jar. Same crud in a different jar, but you can see the crud. Yeah, I mean, she's completely psychopathic. Bipedal speckles. Hi. Or species, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm using a different screen right now, and so sometimes I's and L's look a little bit similar. My apologies. Did you see Israel blew up Hezbollah pagers? Yeah, saw that. Doomsday Machine. That's twice now they attempted to unalive Trump after a presidential debate. Garrett, I'm considering getting into making my own hard cider. Beer and cider is very popular here in northern Michigan. Are you a fan? I tend not to drink beer or hard cider. It's okay to have a cider, in autumn or something like that. Not a huge beer fan. The Grizzly, what do you think about a recent New York Times article saying we may not know the winner of the presidential race for weeks or months afterward? Wouldn't they be insane to try something that blatant? Yeah, and they are insane. That's the whole problem. Cultivated Mind, Sticks, when you said the soap was delicious, it gave me flashbacks of that Ren and Stimpy episode, Space Madness, where Ren was eating soap. I was not allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy as a small child because my mother, correctly, by the way, judged that I would act out and that I would emulate the characters and do crazy things. Let's get to some polls briefly here before we move on to other news. We've got Pennsylvania, Trump v. Harris by Insider Advantage. He is up by 2. But then Harris is up by 3 in USA and Suffolk. In Georgia, we've got Trafalgar showing Trump up by 1. That's actually a warning sign, by the way. Trafalgar typically overestimates Trump's support, so we may need to keep an eye on Georgia. I am not terribly worried, though. Missouri and Indiana, respectively, plus 10 and plus 17 for Trump. That's not exactly, it doesn't confuse me. Maryland, Harris up by 31. Again, this is not a surprise. National, Trump v. Harris. Morning Consult showing Harris up by 8 points. Methinks this is an outlier. But she is, technically speaking, and we need to keep an eye on this. Technically speaking, Harris is running ahead of where Clinton was at the same point in the race in 2016. Just not in the competitive states. But that's the real thing. It doesn't matter if Harris has 100% turnout in California and absolutely smashes it in the popular vote. It matters what the competitive states do. She's only up by a bit in Virginia. She's pulled ahead in Minnesota. She's got an advantage over where Biden was. But Pennsylvania looks dead even. Wisconsin looks dead even. Nevada and Arizona, I think she's probably going to abandon them at any point because those quite clearly are in the Trump camp. And then you have the possibility of competition. New Hampshire, Maine, Michigan is technically in play, although I think it will in the end go for Kamala Harris. And they're pretending that North Carolina is going to be competitive. It'll go for Trump in the end. So just a little bit of polling analysis just to wrap it up. Cultivated, oh, yeah, I already read that one. Stinky Shoes, what do you think penguin tastes like? Also, I'm in Pennsylvania and got 3 people to register to vote, and they're on the Trump train. Good on you. Everyone should do that. It probably tastes very, very fatty. It probably tastes a little bit like, imagine bear meat mixed with chicken or something like that. I don't know. Is it even legal to eat penguin? I mean, unless you're like, a native or something. Last Beacon, I've always wanted a silver skull goblet with rubies in the eyes. It's because that's my birthstone. A July baby. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Gonna go gift some craft glue to Alice Cooper so he can glue his head back on. Be right back. Last Beacon. I believe they aren't saying they're wanting another January 6th. Yeah, is it legal to eat penguin? I've eaten all sorts of weird shit, dude. I've eaten tongue meat. That's actually common over in Western Europe. I've eaten buffalo testicles. I've eaten bear. I've eaten ostrich. I've eaten kangaroo. I've eaten gator. I've even eaten whale, actually, from Japan. And it was good, honestly. And I don't give a fuck. Save the whales. No, yeah, say exactly. Save one for me. Mark Fragola, the FBI and CIA knew Trump's assassin since 2019. Yeah, I saw that too. That's yeah, we'll be probably talking about that tomorrow. Daniel Name, what will a transfer of power look like assuming Trump wins? I have a feeling they will sabotage foreign policy on their way out. Probably will. I agree with that. They'll do everything that they can to crash the system. Aaron Bennett, that +6 for national is ludicrous. The fact that they are willing to extend counting is reminiscent of 2020. Yeah, I know that. It's rather sad. Stinky Shoes, you can eat penguin in the States, but you can get it in Canada. What the fuck? All right, I guess I'm going to have to take a trip to Canada too. Wasted Bonehead, I don't know about penguin, but it's legal to eat pingus. BW, you think we can stop the steal this time? Yes, I believe in optimism. If you get pessimistic, then you've already lost. That's the whole point. Now, we've got a J.D. Vance article. He was, again, on CNN and talking about Haitian immigrants eating pets, migrants, illegals. This is true. Now, fact check, mostly true. I say mostly because it's only a few sporadic incidents. We don't know that every pet that disappears in an urban area is directly attributable to somebody eating it. In some cases, the cat got chewed up by a dog, the dog got caught in barbed wire and asphyxiated, something like that. They got shot in a gang drive-by, or some kid tortured it to death. Unfortunately, people do terrible things to animals. That being said, we do know of at least a handful of cases that can be corroborated where Haitian illegals were eating pets. We know this. We've got literal footage of one dude. He nicked a goose at the pond, I guess, and he was going to take it home and eat that. Again, I will point out my own opinion, unpopular as it may be. I don't really care if you kill and eat a Canadian goose. I don't care if you drive them to extinction because they're fucking assholes. So, if the Haitians want goose meat, that's fine. That's okay with me. As long as you leave the actual pets alone. It'd be funny, you have a pet goose. It's like the last Canadian goose in the world or something like that. And you have to defend it with your life. That could be a video game, Goose Defender. You've got a goose in a little corral and zombies are attacking it. And you have to gun them down or something like that. That'd be kind of fun. It'd be a time waster. It'd be viral for 15 minutes. But it is happening. To be entirely serious, it is actually happening. It's just not happening as often as some people believe it is. But when the legacy media gaslights and they say it has never happened because we have this one report or these couple of reports that we can corroborate are not true, and they say, well, therefore, all of the reports of this are not true. That's disingenuous. Again, that's like saying that I was found not guilty of killing this squirrel. Therefore, the other 99 charges of animal abuse obviously are false. Well, you can corroborate that I didn't kill that squirrel, but there are 99 other charges. There might be a reason for that. I hate to use that particular metaphor, but as a squirrel lover myself, but it is possible. Last Beacon, yep, July 25th. Nice. Lord of the Ree, Sticks, have you heard of the accelerationist movement? They use platforms like Discord and encrypted apps like What Crooks used to gaslight, blackpill, radicalize, and recruit people to become violent. They've been around longer than you know, by the way. I have some backstories about that, but I won't talk about them on a live stream. Dust Thou Art, possible blackpilled thought. If Trump wins, is it really going to be 4 years of continuous assassination attempts? Why wouldn't it be when they're trying so hard already? Eventually, they've blown so many loads, they have to relax for a while, you know? You can only do the thing so many times in a row. Last Beacon. I meant to say they are insane. They want another January 6th because they want more of the surveillance state. Agreed. Let's see. Oh, last Beacon. They want to start kicking out a lot of the non-interventionalists within the party and ideology and start treating us like the crazies. Yeah, it's so crazy not to want to start World War III. I know. Now, here's a story that pisses me off. Brought it up at the beginning of the stream. This is by Brainsturbator, actually, over on Twitter. Link in the description again. Not archived. It's just a tweet. Last week, I was alarmed and disgusted to learn there was going to be a gathering of pedophiles in Vermont. Map Camp 2024, a first of its kind event. This week, their website is down and they're scrambling for cover, as they should be. I don't think that you'll find significant pushback to that particular comment, by the way. Apparently, it was founded by a former self-professed Satanist. Let me weigh in on this. Satanism is about liberation. If you are harming others in any way, they're not being liberated now, are they? It is perfectly fine to indulge yourself with other consenting individuals, adults, people capable of consenting. To be clear, as a former Satanist myself, I condemn this individual. I condemn this gathering. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. And the fact that you thought that, you know, the internet wasn't going to find out that it was happening, by the way, it doesn't exactly show strategic intelligence now, does it? Hey, I'm going to gather together with other people that want to fuck kids. Don't worry, man. I'm just an ephebophile. I've heard that excuse too. That was a big meme years ago on like 4chan and shit like that. No, you're just a creepazoid. And you look creepy too, by the way. You look like the dude with AIDS at the gym. I'm just saying. Take a look at the individual. He's got like a hooded robe on in one of these things, and in another one, it looks like he might be in a skirt. I'm not 100% sure. So I guess he's non-binary or something like that. Yeah. So there was a planned pedophile getaway here in my home state of Vermont. I'm sad to say that it doesn't surprise me that Vermont would be chosen for the venue. Not because it's filled with pedophiles, but because it's remote and it's rather lax on law enforcement. Our law enforcement here doesn't have the same kind of resources you're going to find in Illinois or California, someplace like that. We don't have the LAPD here. And so the investigative structure is probably less. Now, what are the odds that a few kids would have been at this particular get-together? I have every reason to believe that they would have been. That's why on their way, what does it say? It says, let's see, they're talking about marginalized people and shit like that. They're being marginalized. We're marginalizing murderers. Common risks with hiking and other outdoor activities. This is insane, by the way. I'm hoping that this is just a fucking joke. Dehydration, exhaustion, sprained ankle, back injuries, injuries from animals, falling rocks, blisters, getting lost, insect bites and stings, heat exhaustion, falling, tripping because you were distracted by a minor instead of watching where you were going. Why do I have a feeling this was going to devolve into a fucking orgy of some sort? I don't think that I'm wrong at all. Yeah, there are ways to deal with the situation, by the way. And again, juries would be fairly reluctant to convict people for lashing out at people who are self-professed pedophiles. I don't think that most of those juries convened would... by the way, I've been called up on jury duty. I wonder what that fucking case will be. I'm going to have to skip out on this one. And next time I'll be willing to go, but they won't want me on a jury because I know about jury nullification. Yeah, there are ways to deal with these people. I'm not making any suggestions. I'm just saying that the ways exist. If you know what I'm saying, you know. If I was on the jury, I'd be like, they killed 5 kid fiddlers. I don't care. Nominal topic. Please keep doing what you're doing. Clank. Always will. I will never quit. Aaron Bennett, do you think they will investigate World War III to prevent Trump from... Oh, instigate World War III. Investigate. To prevent Trump from taking office or win. Maybe. Unfortunately, they might. That's why I've got potassium iodide on tap. Celestial137, if you're having squirrel problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 charges, but squirrel murder ain't one. I did kill a squirrel when I was younger because I thought it was rooting around in the garden. Then I realized it was actually moles, and I felt really bad about it. So now I do penance by, feeding squirrels and stuff. You should see all the squirrels and chipmunks out back. God, they've got a whole army. TIE Ranical, why is Mog acting so cringe about the pet thing? There's nothing cringe about it. Pointing out the fact that it's happening is actually meaningful. It's just that in some cases you get like local neighborhood gossip and shit like that. Oh my God, Mr. Fluffy disappeared. It must have been the Haitians down the street. Well, no, maybe Mr. Fluffy just fucked off onto the wheels of a bus, and now he's a flat, fly-covered piece of fuck meat. Adam V, thanks for messaging me back on X, teaching me how to harvest coriander. Follow me on X at Gerald _Woodcock. Get a little shout out there. Yeah, it's really way easier than dill. Holy shit. Scarfy the Strange, where's Tim Ballard when you need him? Last beacon. Crap, I meant to say non-interventionalists. Lord of the Ree Sticks, no one said pedos were smart. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to hold an entire, fucking event with them and go camping, imagine some of these people have kids. They're probably bringing them along. Oh, nothing bad could happen here. Thank you, State of Vermont, for being so on the up and up about this issue. Re24, hello, Dora. I'm the map. 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 I have no clue what the reference is, but all right. Lord of the Ree, maps belong on the wall. Clank. I can think of some other places that they belong on. I mean, you can lift someone off the ground with this, if you wanted to. Last Beacon 83, Brainsterbator, masturbate with your mind. Lord of the Ree, friendly reminder that lampposts exist. This statement exists in its own context and has nothing to do with the current conversation. I'm just saying lampposts exist. Yeah, they've been invented, which is great because otherwise, you go down the road and you can't see what the fuck you're doing. Last Beacon, speaking of 4chan, what is your favorite board? Used to be B. Now it's politically incorrect. The news page is all right, but it tends to lean very left, actually, I've noticed. Not just a string, Sticks. Did you just see BBC ex-presenter that got off without jail, etc. on court charges for holding MAP-related imagery? Jury should remember selective enforcement goes both ways. Yeah, I mean, there's this great song. You should look it up. It's called I Beat the Shit Out of the Priest by, what was it? It's an AI-generated thing. It's by Hanky Panky Hank. It's an AI-generated track. And it's about how the priest was perving on children, so he beat the shit out of stuff, dragged his bitch ass through the streets. It's actually one of my new favorite songs. I'm not going to lie, AI sometimes makes better music than the average human being can. It's really great. Also, the I Am the Motherfucker songs. All right. So, yeah, there was a planned MAP, in other words, pedo convention in Vermont. It's been disbanded, it appears, thankfully. Again, it appears that a very, very confused drug-using transvestite devil worshiper was trying to organize it. Why does this not surprise me? And of course it would be in the state of Vermont. Fucking of course. Yeah, thank you. My state doesn't have a poor enough reputation among normal people already. Thank you very much. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm the second most well-known living Vermonter after Bernie Sanders, and he was born in New York. I mean, technically I was born in New Hampshire, but we're basically twins anyway, so it's a little bit different than being born in Brooklyn. Just saying. I've thought about moving to New Hampshire, actually, because they've got better gun laws. I mean, if they're doing this sort of shit in Vermont, I don't know if I want to stay here, honestly. Also, they tax the shit out of me. Judge orders deportation of migrant influencer who bragged about handouts and encouraged squatting. Yes, I reported on this. This was, I think 2 months ago or so, Lionel Moreno, he was talking about how, you could squat in buildings according to rental laws in certain parts of the country. In certain parts of the country, if you inhabit a structure for an extended period of time, even if you're not technically authorized to be there, the property, it's very difficult to actually kick you out of the property unless there's some sort of significant criminal activity going on. And so he was trying to instruct people how to do this. Now, I sympathize with people who have nothing and who just want a roof over their heads. But when you're trying to instruct people, hey, here's how to game the system, and then you're getting a bunch of government money, that's a big problem. By the way, he was bragging about making a shit stack of money, over $1,000 a week. Okay, you might not be getting rich, but, you're definitely making ends meet when you got no overhead on TikTok. In addition to his family being given $350 a week in government handouts, he also encouraged fellow migrants to squat in abandoned homes, according to TikTok screenshots. I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave, Moreno reportedly said in Spanish. I came to the U.S. to mark my territory. Too bad. You're gone. You're being deported. Fuck your ass. Haha, you got your comeuppance, fucking retard. It's one thing to squat in a building. Like, you're illegal, you getting the government benefits and stuff. I know why they're deporting him. He became a real fucking problem for the Biden administration and for the Harris administration because he was bragging about it. Hey, my family's getting all this free money, and basically I can just squat in this home and nobody can do a goddamn thing about it. That's the only reason that they're deporting him, by the way. Only reason that the case existed in the first place. Kate Greenham, are you still in the Netherlands? What do you think would happen if an attempt on Trump is successful? No, I'm in Vermont, actually, right now, as I just explained. If an attempt on Trump were successful, number one, the only person who can run at this point, this late in the race, would be Vance. I think he would do a good job, so I'm confident in the running mate. That's number one. Number two, there would be enormous protests. Absolutely enormous. John Diamond, Sticks, I haven't caught you live for a while. Have some shiny shekels. Your hair looks great today. Thank you. It was freshly brushed earlier. Cultivated Mind, we are having a Sticks raffle. Enter code STICKS at checkout to have a chance at winning one of 3 gift boxes. Hats, hoodies, soaps, coffee, biltong, mushrooms, and more. Cultivated-mind.com. Re24, we do not forgive, we do not forget. Our group has over 9,000 penises, and they are all raping children. Yes, I saw that Oprah entry there back in the day, back when 4chan was reckoned to be far right, instead of, when Anonymous was reckoned to be far right. I remember Bill O'Reilly was complaining about them too, and they trolled Oprah. Somebody sent in a letter saying they had over 9,000 penises all raping children, and of course, this was a reference to the over 9,000 meme. But she was like, oh my God, there's a worldwide network of pedos and stuff. But unfortunately, it appears that they are attempting to organize. Or that could be fortunate, because if they do it in the open again, most people don't have a high tolerance for that. King of Biltong, apologies, kids, keeping me busy. It's not MAP, minor attracted person, is pedos. They should all be eliminated. Don't let them control the language. Yes, it's just, I have to report on it because it was the MAP convention, the camping trip. I wonder what they're doing with those hot dogs by the bonfire. Last weekend, I like K and D and Pole. Yeah, I'm a Polak. Sigil Stone, squatters' rights is an oxymoron. Squatters don't have property rights and is subversive commie horseshit. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with renters' protection laws. Last week, and I'm waiting for the day that I can AI generate YouTube poops. You probably can already do that now. Now, final story. Pennsylvania Supreme Court clears way for mail voting by rejecting independent presidential candidate bid. Yes, they knocked Cornel West off of the ballot in Pennsylvania, probably to try to buff up Kamala Harris. They also have re-expanded to some degree, pending further litigation, mail-in ballot access. Now, of course, I believe that mail-in ballots should only be used in the absentee sense if you're overseas, you've been deployed, you're a soldier or something, you're a diplomat, something like that, or if you're sick. This is why early voting is a better idea, because it's like, okay, just vote on the first day of voting. You can always go to the polls on election day just for the hype if you want to, but you've already voted. So then you just mill around with your neighbors and stuff like that. And in fact, that is what I am proclaiming to my audience. If you are in the United States and you are in a state with early voting, vote immediately. Vote as quickly as you can. You can always still go to the polls. You can also spend that time to drag somebody else to the polls. If you can do that, and enough people do it, we can't help but win the election. I still think Trump has a significant advantage. I'm still paying attention to the polling. It's not as good as it was, when he was facing off against Biden, but it's still pretty good. Compared to 2016, it's a little bit better. Compared to 2020, it's fucking light years better. So I'm not terribly worried. Vote early and then drag somebody else to the polls and harvest a couple of ballots. Knock on a door or something like that. Put out a yard sign. Do your part. Because the alternative is literally a psychopath being the president of the United States. Biden never worried me in the existential sense. I got the sense I correctly predicted he would fuck the economy. He did. Wars would break out. They did. Etc. There'd be problems at the border. That was entirely predictable. Nobody thought that was not going to happen. But I never thought, I joked about it like, he accidentally presses the wrong button on his desk and World War III happens. That was a joke, though. I never got the sense that Joe Biden was an existential threat to the country. Just a general threat, in mainly the economic and diplomatic sense. But with Kamala Harris, I get the same vibe I got from Hillary Clinton, which is, goddamn, this person might very well start World War III. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard has gotten the same vibe, and I generally trust her judgment, so I think that I was probably right. Viking Woman, I just had your stream drop at work. I refreshed the screen. Glitch? I don't know. Dust Thou Art, Sticks, why don't the pedos just join? I can't say that on a YouTube super chat. Join a certain religion in which somebody was married to a 9-year-old. Yeah. Although I think he waited until she was 10 to, do the thing or something like that. I think they consummated at 9 and married when she was 6, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I studied the Quran. Always know your enemy. King of Biltong, we had a site upgrade, then experienced an issue with our free shipping codes. This has now been resolved. Get yourself some healthy, high-protein snacks at BiltongUSA.com. Sticks 10 for 10% off. Excellent. Sigil, outlaw all mail-in ballots, even for soldiers and diplomats overseas. Sorry, you gave up your vote to serve. Too bad. Leave an exception and they'll widen it until we're back to square one. I have to disagree with that one. I think that if somebody is serving their country in a foreign capacity, they still have the right to vote. They're still a citizen of the United States. It's just if you're stateside, if you're in your own community, fucking register, show an ID, and show up and fucking vote in person. Last beacon, actually, it was far left. Bulldozer, they only bring little smokies for the bonfires at the map trip. Yeah, they probably have those Vienna sausages. It reminds them of something. The Sumerian, $4.99, no comment, thank you very much. And then a follow-up, Lord Satan, liberal or conservative? I am neither, actually. I am a classical liberal. Yeah, I mean, that one story from Vermont, when I saw it, I figured it was probably satire or hyperbole or something like that. Somebody made a troll website and they're like, I'm going to convince them that pedophiles are meeting up in the woods. But it looks actually like it's real. I'm going to have to keep up with this story. I'm probably going to have to talk about it tomorrow. Because I don't know. Everything happening in politics and society right now is completely screwy in every way. You've got multiple assassination attempts. You've got an incumbent standing down. You've got some fucking former devil worshiper trying to perv on kids in the woods. In my own fucking home state, by the way. You've got all sorts of disasters and weird shit. I made a video actually earlier. If you're not following me on Rumble or BitChute, then you're not getting the full Styx experience, by the way. You should definitely follow me there. StyxXNammer666, of course. There was a story from a few days ago. There was a landslide in Greenland, in a fjord, actually. It's called a SHIB, apparently, this particular phenomenon. And the landslide was so large, it created a 650-foot wall of water. But it was stuck in the fjord, which is probably thankful for anyone shipping south of Greenland, by the way. And it just oscillated back and forth over and over for days. And the seismologists were like, what the fuck is happening over here? Because this wall of water was slamming into the sides of the fjord over and over again, and they didn't know what was happening. And then they finally figured out, oh, it was a SHIB. You know, they attributed it in the article that I read to climate change. Of course, I attribute it to, hey, the front of the glacier melted and some rocks came loose. Ta-da! You know, they were probably going to melt anyway. I don't think that driving SUVs is causing 650-foot waves. I'm not convinced of this. Last beacon, sigh. Going to wind up with Kamala Harris, aren't we? Wind up? Oh, wind up, I think you mean. No, I don't think so. I think that Trump will win. Don't get blackpilled, just get active. If everyone watching this stream got active, I mean, hell, that's almost 4,000 fucking people. So, you know, that's a lot of door knocking. Slick Rick, Alan Lichtman, historian, predicted 9 out of 10 elections correctly. Got Bush v. Gore wrong. Says that Harris will win. Is it Jover? He actually did not predict that many elections correctly. Some of it was retroactive. Some of it was funny business with his keys themselves. And he missed several midterms as well. His track record is actually not that impressive. It's just that his capability of branding himself is impressive. He's a good communicator, and he's capable of convincing people, hey, I'm so accurate on the presidential elections. That's basically it. By the way, he's misinterpreting his own keys, actually, with regards to the current election. Like he gives the incumbency to Harris. Wouldn't a former president be more incumbent than a vice president? I would think so. Or you could say technically there is no incumbency. Well, then you've got a tie. I look at it more as they're clearly desperate about trying to stop Donald Trump. They wouldn't be trying to kill him over and over if that weren't the case. And think of the people that have the most to lose. The big banksters, corporate executives that are related to the war industry and stuff like that. Trump never started a new war. And he scaled down several that we were already involved in, several conflicts, Syria, Afghanistan, and so forth. Of course they don't want him in office. Yeah, he's not going to make him as much money. He's going to make us more money. That's what they hate, because they hate us. Sigil Stone, the sun rose this morning. Climate change caused this. Quick, burn the very concept of human rights and dignity. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the moon was full. Climate change caused that too. Climate change caused the earthquake. Because people drive SUVs, this volcano exploded. The funny thing is that there are some rather brainless liberal individuals who have made arguments fundamentally like that. You remember it was, this wasn't even that many weeks ago. You remember that one article there where the liberal commentator was trying to claim that earthquakes were being caused by climate change? It's like, no, I don't think that affects plate tectonics that much. Maybe a very, very small amount. The Sumerian. What do you think about the mail-in voting in Pennsylvania? What do you think about the mail-in voting in Pennsylvania? I think it's bullshit, but I believe it is on appeal. So, yeah. I think vote early, and, you know, if I was a liberal, I would also say vote often. I'll just say vote early and in person. Get your ballot in there before Election Day. If you like, you know, the spirit of civics and stuff, you can always go to the venue on Election Day and just mill around. You make a day of it, you know, shoot the shit with your neighbors and stuff like that. But you might be incapacitated on Election Day. And we need every vote that we can get because we've got a crisis in this nation. The crisis is called, hey, there's a psychopath running for office. And she cackles incessantly, can't conduct diplomacy, rarely talks to the public, and then won't answer questions when she does. That's a little bit of a problem. By the way, send no more super chats, please, because at some point I need to get a little bit of a snack or something. Dust Thou Art, when is the next time you and Jeremy stream together? Tailgatesfortrump.com. Tomorrow, my friend. Mondays and Wednesdays. Last beacon. No, I have to agree with Sigil Stone. If you serve, you are technically a ward of the state, meaning you have no rights. You are not deprived of your basic constitutional rights simply by enlisting. Sigil Stone. Climate change causes Taylor Swift music. That or mumble rap. Okay, I guess we do need to give up the SUVs. Holy shit, you know, the rap scene has been ruined. Anyways, I'm going to go offline. I thank you to the nearly 4,000 people that tuned in live, but I need a little bit of a snack, and I do have to actually go back to Chisana because I have to harvest herbs. The ones that have already been harvested, they're already dried. So plenty of oregano, thyme, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, quite literally growing in the bed together. And yeah, it's going to be some great shit. Might get some dill. I want the dill leaves. I think I'm just going to destroy the plants, though. I don't want any more dill seed because there's already so fucking much of it. There's no way that it's ever going to all be used. And you could pickle probably 500 pints with the amount of dill seeds that have already been gotten. And yes, King of Biltong, don't worry. I will eat biltong as well. Although there's no biltong here at the rental property right now, so I'll have to wait till I get back to the mini fridge. Don't worry, I got plenty of it there. That's about all.